Hey, everybody. I'm Heidzalyn, and it is time for an update. We're in a new year, and there is so many exciting things that are going on in Heidzalyn coaching. And so I wanted to give you guys some updates. And so, first off, with me today, I want to introduce you to St. Josh. He is one of the producers I have recently met and been having some really interesting conversations with over, I would say, about the last month or so.
Yeah.
And so I'm so excited to finally get a chance to introduce you to him. Josh, tell them a little bit more about yourself.
What's up? My name is St. Josh. I am a rapper, songwriter, music producer. I work a lot with custom music, producing music for the background of advertisements, commercials, licensing music for film and use in shows like Netflix and different things that you'll hear in media. And I'm always looking to collaborate with other music producers, artists, anybody that needs vocals, top line, anybody really in the entertainment and creative field that's looking for music and audio, pretty much.
Yes, like you have so many useful talents and skills. So it's one reason why I like talking to you, because you're one of my experts that knows a lot of things. And not only that, but you share passion that I have. And so for those of you watching that may not know who I am and what I do, I am a musical prosperity guide. So I'm a little bit more than a coach. I'm a little bit more than a consultant. I'm in the trenches with you, and I am doing the stuff in the music industry. And one of the biggest things that I do to help people is teach them the habit of resilience. And resilience is emotional intelligence. And I feel like for me, it's been one of the things that had held me back in the past with everything that I wanted to do in the music industry. So I feel very passionate about helping others get unstuck from this trap we sometimes catch ourselves in by the stuff that we believe. And I've been having some absolutely great, amazing discussions with St. Josh since we've met, and we've been getting together on Zoom. And so I just felt kind of like selfish, like just keeping these conversations to ourselves. And so one of the things that I'm working on this year is a bigger than myself project called Utopia. So Utopia stands for esports, technology, operations, production, innovation, and the arts. I know it's a mouthful, it's a lot. That's why we shortened it to Utopia, okay? But the reason why it's all of these things is all these different like creative industries. And when like we work together, then we all kind of get to do the thing that we're really good at, that we really love working on. And so with this Utopia project, I'm going to start doing some regular streams, and we're going to be interviewing some bands. And Utopia is meant to be one ginormous, awesome collaboration project. So I didn't want to do this live stream on my own. And after talking to Josh for the last couple weeks, you guys are going to love him. So with that being said, we just survived the holidays. We're like halfway into January somehow already. I don't know how that happened. I feel like I just had my first normal work week. But we were talking about prioritizing your health. And Josh, you told me just the most incredible story that made me really think about prioritizing my health a little bit more than I have been doing in the past. Will you share with us?
Yeah. Absolutely. I think it's super important for artists and creatives to, um, you know, take that priority in self care. You know, you definitely need to, uh, you need to prioritize that. You know, you can't lose sight of your health while you're pursuing your passion and your career. And it's so easy sometimes to just forget about these things because you're so focused on all the projects and all the things that you're doing. Um, But if you don't prioritize those things, they are going to self sabotage and cause damage to you um, in the future. You know, if you can't give 100% of yourself to a project, you know, because of your health, it's going to affect your work. It's going to affect all the projects that you're involved, all the clients you have, all of the, you know, everything you're doing. So it's super important for any creative or any professional to make sure that they're, you know, getting enough sleep, that they're drinking water, they're eating healthy, that they're in the right mindset of these things. It's so important. Like,
But
because
wait. I'm going to stop you right there because I was on Reddit this week and somebody did a post and it was like, if you just all do all these things, like you're not going to have any problems. And the like response from that was just like, well, nobody's perfect. And like, well, yeah, I would do all those things if I wasn't working like 80 hours a week and I didn't have like 5 kids. And so what do you say about how do you overcome that? All of those things that are going on.
yeah, like that's the thing. It's definitely, you know, there's people that have kids and life happens, a lot of things. But still I feel like it's so important to not make excuses. You know, you really want to make sure that you are taking that time to have a little bit for yourself to make sure that, you know, you're going to bed at a decent time or at least on a schedule, you're eating right and all these things. It's so important. Like me personally, you know, back in the day I used to have that mindset, like let me work 24/7 and grind. And I used to never think it was important to have a day off. And I now, and experience, have learned how important it is to really make sure that I'm resting and having that downtime. It's so important for your mind, actually, you know, um, like because it, like as I mentioned, it'll affect every aspect of your workflow. You know, with me personally, I used to not prioritize those things. I everything was out of balance, and I started turning in projects late. I started like I felt like I wasn't giving 100% to the work that I was doing, then it was affecting the quality of the orders that I was providing to my clients, to respond to people, all these things just because I was overworking myself. You know, I was barely sleeping. I wasn't eating right. I was eating unhealthy foods. I wasn't hydrated. I wasn't getting enough movement or exercise. And all of these things are so important for your peace and well being. And that downtime is what allows you to be so you know, maximize and really live up to your full potential when you get back to it. You need that to have your uptime. You know, you need the rest. You need that peace and calmness to get you back onto the, you know, the get the wheels turning again. You know, you don't want to be running 24/7 because that wears you down. It breaks you down over time, and then you start becoming easier to like you get more irritable and you can't tolerate stress and you can't tolerate, you know, feedback and stuff. You become super, it just affects you and it affects everyone around you. So I think it's super important that you know, prioritize self-care. Even if you have kids and you have a family or whatever it is, you need to make sure that you're taking a little bit of time every day to just breathe deep and just take that relaxation moment for at least for a few minutes.
But, my boss expects me to show up at work even though I'm sick. And also, um, overtime on the weekends, maybe not even always paid. And, um, how this is completely out of my control. I feel like being able to take care of myself. Have you faced that kind of situation, and what have you done in the past to build some better boundaries and kind of get some control back in that situation?
Yeah, I totally understand. I get what you're asking. Yeah, that really depends. I feel like the mindset is so important. We need to be able to take control of things that presented with. We want to make the best that we can, and that we're not making excuses for ourselves. I feel like a lot of time the excuses thing is huge. I feel like a lot of people create these reasons to not put themselves first sometimes, and you look for excuses and try to create these outs instead of just doing a few minutes a day.
And
These are things that
sometimes
you can
I think
do.
that it's not always excuses, but it's beliefs that have been taught to us along the way. Like, think about the hustle culture. And, like, if
Yes,
you're not
yes,
putting in 80 hours of work a week, then you're not going to be successful. I feel like
yeah,
that message, in one way or another, uh, different phrasing, always seems to kind of like come back into my space. And when I tried to do that
yes,
kind of like hustle work, that just would result in me being absolutely burnt out, a complete waste of a person, like
yeah.
not really great to my friends and family in the close space when that was happening. Probably not really being a good person to work with either at that time because I
Yeah,
was unhappy.
yeah,
So there's got to be a better way.
for sure.
It doesn't have to be this like hard hustle culture. And one of the best ways to figure out what the way is for you, because there's lots of people out here talking, live streaming, doing all of this stuff, but the way and the answer is really inside of you.
Yeah.
So the question and your quest is, so what are the right questions to be asking to get better answers, to figure out how could it be easier for you, even with your boss that's like horrible, makes you work on Christmas and all of this stuff. How do you overcome that and make your life easier than what it is right now?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one thing that you mentioned that's really, really on the mark is it's not always excuses. I think, like you said, a lot of times it's the perceptions of things that we've been taught. We have this mindset, coming up, and I feel like you think that you have to work 80 hours to be seen as productive or be seen as effective, and you have to do all of these things that are just wearing you down and exhausting you, that is all like not reality. You're not you see these in you see them in like memes, you see them in like all types of inspirational clips that get posted, but that's just like surface level things. You're not seeing the reality of the entrepreneurs and the people that worked hard to really get there. And most of the people that I have looked up to, they had that same issue. They went in working those super long weeks with no downtime, and they have said how much that has affected them. It's so important to really change that mindset or start trying to take new perspectives to realize that you don't have to do those things to be productive. You know, you don't have to work 80 hours a week and you know kill yourself essentially to please somebody. You need to be able to take those moments of downtime and rest, and um, even if it's 10, 15 minutes, it could be at work and you just take a quick bathroom break or something, go in there, deep breathe, and there's ways that you can work around those things and get onto that healthier
And I'm
mindset.
going to tell you a secret right now. Okay, you ready? Ready for the secret? It could be even less than 15 minutes. It could be just 15, 20 seconds of you just shifting your focus from whatever it is that you're worried or you're stressed out about And, you were talking about it earlier about taking that time to enjoy hobbies and taking that time to just not work, not think about work at all, just go do something else. And you can do that if right now you're struggling to find the time to do that for a whole day. Just start with giving yourself 2 minutes just to rest your brain and don't think about anything. Just focus on your breathing. Just maybe rub your hands together and just think about that and just give your brain a rest. 2-minute vacation. Ooh, think about your favorite vacation spot for 2 minutes.
Yep. Find that happy, comfortable place.
Exactly.
For sure.
And just doing that little bit and getting into a habit of doing it regularly is going to change your perspective and how you see whether you have to, should do it, need to, can't do it. Like, these are all words that I pay attention to now. And when I'm talking to somebody else and any of those words come out of my mouth, the first thing I do is I question it. Do I really have to?
Yep.
I mean, why should I do this? Why can't I? And I don't just take it as like, well, this is just it. I am out of control. Those are like my action words now. Ooh, and hard. This is so hard.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that's one of my favorite ones. I'm like, oh, there's a way to do it easier. I just said it was hard. Let's figure out what it is.
Yep.
And what's fun about this, and like the conversations that you and I have been having, Josh, is you get to kind of like turn into an explorer. And instead of just being in the middle of all of the chaos and everything that's going on in your life, you can start to explore your other options.
Yeah.
But you can't do that if you're in that survival mode thinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's really important to be able to learn how to interrupt when you're in survival thinking, because no matter how logical you are, as long as you stay there, you're going to be limiting yourself from what you're really what you could really accomplish. And as far as the conversation today goes, it's how are you going to accomplish things that are going to keep you healthy? Because if you're not healthy, then that special gift that you have to share with the world, whatever that creation is, you're not going to be here to share it. You're not going to have the ability to perform, to write, to do whatever it is that you're out there trying to do. So it's like they say in the airplane crashes to put the mask on yourself first before you help other people.
Yeah.
And what I feel like the message is, the world's message is, no, you should help everyone else before you put on that oxygen mask. And so I guess what I'm saying, and I'm asking everybody, is just take a look for a second, and are you putting everyone else in front of yourself? And if you think that you are, do you really want to keep going to this place of exhaustion over and over and over again, or would you like a different option? So, I don't have my fancy background that I normally have, but lately I've had this background, less stress, more joy, and it's a free course that I have. And Josh, you went through it right before the holidays. What did you think about that course, and what did you learn through going through that?
Yeah, I loved it. Just like she had mentioned earlier, you know, even a few seconds can make a difference. If you're in that busy mind and you're in that survival mode and you're going a million miles a minute, if you can just take a few seconds, or even a couple minutes, and just really breathe deep and be present, And I think that's so important instead of, because we think about the future, we think about all the things that we got to turn in and all the things that are due, or we think about all the stresses of last week and all. But if you can just take a moment to breathe deep and really get into that mindset of a comfortable place and just breathe deep and focus on the moment and be present, I think that's so important because it can really pull you out of that, survival mode, and you get real comfortable. You can get relaxed, get focused, and build those things back. And that's what I love about Heidi and her course, because that's what she's all about, is teaching about prosperity and how important it is to, really care about yourself and your health. And that goes in many ways, physical, mental, emotional, and those things are all important because, as she said, if you aren't focused on your health and your self-care, then you're not going to be present to be, performing or writing or creating at your best. And that's why I personally love, what she's doing, because it's all about that. And it's so important for artists and creatives to prioritize these things. And I think there has been so much information and content that has really steered artists in the wrong way, and teaching them that they have to do all of these things, and it's created that hustle, mindset. But it's not good for the long term. I think it's better to take the downtime, and even if it takes you longer to get there, it's worth your peace and worth your mind. And I think it'll really benefit. And just like Heidi mentions, having hobbies, having relationships, and things outside of the music that you can look forward to is so important. For me this year, I've put more priority on that because in past years, I never did. But this year, that's my new resolution, is to really focus on other means and joys outside of my passion. So yeah, definitely check out Heidi's course or Prosperity Guide. It's really, really great. She's a top of the line person. She's really, down to earth and gets to know you. And like she mentioned in the beginning, that she's in the trenches with you, and she gets to understand what who you are, what you're doing, and how she can help you get there. And really important to prioritize those things that she talks about.
So I put the link in the chat to that free mini course. You just have to sign up to the community, which is great. You also have access to the prosperity community, and we're talking about topics of mindset and business strategies and team building strategies and celebration strategies. And oh yeah, I forgot one, technology. Oh my goodness. Can that suck up a lot of time or save you a lot of time, depending. So it's nice to kind of have a group to talk about what works and what doesn't, so you don't have to try everything. And that's pretty much what the idea is with the online community. Is it's not a community on your normal social media channels where you might be in that business-minded space. I'm doing posts, I'm promoting myself in this way. This community is a growth space for you, where there is not distractions of all of these other things that are going on. This is a place for you to go back to your foundations, the things that we often get distracted from by all of the stuff that's going on every day. We forget to drink water, and we forget to exercise, and we go, oh, it's fine, I'll just cut a couple hours out of my sleep, I'll get that done too. And like you were saying, Josh, it's fine for a little while. You can push for a little while, and there have been a lot of people that have become quite successful pushing like that, or otherwise that message wouldn't be out there. However, it is not sustainable. If you talk to a lot of successful people and you ask them maybe what they would have done differently, a lot of times they will talk about how, they basically became workaholics, or they've lost out on certain things in their lives. And I'm here to say that with the right combination of knowing exactly what it is that you want in life, all of the puzzle pieces can come together.
Yeah.
you don't have to be working in the music industry like people have worked in the music industry all of these years. Word on the street I hear from everybody, it's the end and it's over and it's horrible and it's terrible and it's never surviving after this. I don't believe that for a second.
No.
I think that we have more power than we ever did before. And I think that there are ways. This is something I really love about Josh because he's doing it in so many different ways. There are so many different ways that you can share your music and connect with other creatives and really have some impact. If you could get outside of that survival thinking and get into that curious thinking, that innovative thinking, where all your creativity is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Josh is super awesome, and he is going to host the next cohort for my resilience mastermind. So we haven't officially decided on a start date. You know, that could depend on you out there listening. But check out the free course, see what it is that we're talking about, why this habit to resilience is so important, so then you understand why you would want to practice it. And this cohort is going to be like an 8-week online party where we like explore some of the characters that have been hijacking us from everything we said that we wanted to do.
Yep.
And we'll hold each other accountable to doing the very small practice every day, the very small vacation for yourself, the very bit of putting yourself first every day. And over 8 weeks, observe what the difference is and the changes in what you understand about yourself, other people, and the situations that you've been in. So, Josh, what are you most excited about with starting the Resilience Mastermind?
Yeah, for me, I think it's just, getting to talk about these things and having that support group with the different people. I love to chat and really get everyone's different take and see how all the different walks of life come together to talk about these type of things. I think that's what I look forward to. Is just I love connecting with the people. And then one important thing I'll always say, like to add on to everything that me and Heidi have been talking about, is, as artists and creators, we are brands, but at the same time, we're also people. So I think that's a really good way to look at it is, you need to take care of you to take care of your brand. And so that's so important, for the success of you as a creator and to reach that path of prosperity, that you need to value those things because you are the brand, so don't just think of it like, oh, I'm just taking care. Think of it in both ways. Hey, I'm taking care of me and I'm taking care of my brand, because then you can associate that with positive things like, hey, I am being productive by taking a day off. So, it's that mindset. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the way that you put that together because I do a lot of creative multitasking, I call it. I love to take my hobbies and combine them with other stuff that I'm working on. And so far it's been like really great.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun to take what I'm learning in archery and be able to apply it to what I'm doing in coaching, or use that as an opportunity to go hang out in the woods with a bunch of people and really build like deeper connections in a very natural, calming type environment, which is completely on brand.
Yeah. Yeah.
And here's something else about brand, which we can wrap up the conversation about this and why this is so important for you to put yourself first. If you avoid this, if you avoid figuring out who you are and who you stand for and what you value, and don't really show yourself respect and empathy, maybe you're really self-judgmental, things like that. These bad habits and how like you treat yourself get observed by other people, because maybe you might start treating other people the same way that you've been treating yourself. And if you don't realize the way that you act and the things that you do, and you don't establish yourself as a brand with certain values, people will create the brand for you, and you will get a reputation, and you might not like what that reputation is.
Yep.
And when it comes to reputation, sometimes it takes a long time to change it. So this is something that a lot of people miss. It's not just people in the music industry, it's a lot of business owners. They don't really identify who they are, what they value, and so it's hard for them to communicate that in what they're doing every day with their businesses. And so it gets confusing. People put their own labels on it, and it's much, much harder to become prosperous when you're starting from all of that confusion.
Yeah.
So I just want to thank you, Josh, for, I mean, first of all, this is the magic of networking. The fact that Josh and I are even talking.
Yeah.
I met him on LinkedIn, just reached out to him, and we started talking, and then we met. Oh, I think you came to one of my online events, which, yeah, quick plug, the 27th, there's going to be another prosperity event. So my website's been scrolling there on the bottom. Free event for music industry professionals to come network with other music industry professionals. But thanks for networking, and for showing up, and for being a collaborator, and for understanding the importance of this, for sharing my values in mental health and the importance for creatives.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very honored to, be a part of everything with you, and I'm super glad that we connected on LinkedIn and to see how it's developed. We started out just by chatting back and forth on messaging, and then we started after your event, we started doing the weekly meets and stuff, and I think it's been such a great way that we've connected and learned more about each other. And these are the type of conversations that need to be had, and so I definitely recommend, if anybody watching, you need to watch, definitely attend her, event on the 27th. Yes. It's a great way.
You'll love it, man. Sometimes we always get some super amazing people, but like, man, some of the people that have come in, like, it just have blown me away with their accomplishments. I'm just like, there's no way I am in this room with this person right now. So good reason to attend. Not me.
Yep.
Everyone else.
Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome.
But thank you, Josh, for being here with me. Next week, we are going to, well, you guys probably won't notice, but we're going to officially start. There might even be a schedule. We're starting kind of slow. No official thing. From Utopia, that's going to turn into interviews with artists and bands and people that are doing video game stuff and all this cool creative stuff. So hopefully you'll come back every week. I think we've definitely decided we're going to do Mondays, right? We're cool on Mondays.
Yeah. Mondays. For now. For now, yeah, Mondays.
So you guys might see somewhat of a regular schedule popping up here in the near future with all kinds of cool stuff that we're going to be bringing to your attention. But we're also going to continue to have some of these deeper conversations that I feel like have really been kept hush-hush and have made it feel so much harder to work and live in our craft the way that we want to. So let's talk about how to make it easier.
Yeah. It's great. Yeah, it's been such a great thing, to connect with everybody, and we're gonna be doing these things on Monday, where me and Heidi get together and we just have great conversations and discussions with, uh, as she mentioned, different artists and creatives, and we're gonna get insight into what they do and into the processes and how they create and how they uh, make these things happen, and it to be a great resource for people to learn and to tune into, um, to see how you can unlock your own potential, and it's really great. I think everybody should tune in and look forward to it in these events that she's doing. And Heidi's really bringing all these different creative and entertainment worlds together, and this Utopia and just the weekly meetings, everything, it's super great and super insightful. And I would recommend anybody in the creative space, or music space, to really tune in. It'd be great.
Well, thanks, Josh, for that. That is, you're making me blush. So what he said, come back next week, hear what we have to talk about. It's going to be cool. It's going to be good. Tell your friends. Same channel, the same time, roughly, maybe 4:35.
Yep.
See all you guys back here next week. Like, subscribe, check us out, and all that. Yeah,
That's good.
We're not quite to that level yet, but
yeah,
we gotta practice saying the things. All right, see you guys.
Bye.